So, welcome back. I'm Ivan or Ivan, depending on where in the world I'm in. So, being in the month of July and June being part of Pride Month, simply put, a group of gays, trans, and non-binary folks, particularly drag queens, had enough and decided to stand up and advocate for themselves with whatever they could lay their hands on. The July question of the month is in honor of that spirit. So the question of the month for July is, does your healthcare provider engage with you on your overall health and well-being, or do you have to advocate for yourself to be seen more than just your HIV diagnosis? Like I always do, I want to start out with a quote. Healthcare is not a privilege. It's a right. It's a right as fundamental as civil rights. It's a right as fundamental as giving every child a chance to get a public education. That is from Rod Bulovich, which was the former governor of Illinois. So, I have a wonderful team where I go to get my health care, especially my health care for the HIV. They are very good with me. I am very open. I tell them about my sexual partners. I tell them about everything, including my PTSD and my depression, my diagnosis with my last time I see my psychiatrist, the last time I went to do things, and even in August of last year, after my mom passed away, I was able to tell them that. I really believe that in order to have a healthy life, you have to trust the people who are there to help you with your health care and with your health. If you can't be honest with them, then there's something wrong with that. I have made sure that my behavioral health, my psychiatrist, my primary care doctor, and my infectious disease doctor are all communicating, are allowed to communicate with each other about my health care, get test results from each other, and make sure that they're all on the same page. Why? Because I really believe that your health is like a car. When you have something wrong with it and you do not fix that problem because you don't have the money or because you don't have the time or you can't miss work, you let that problem go, that little problem affects other things and turns into this huge problem, which at the end will cost you even more money and more time at work. Unfortunately, we live in a time where we're seeing healthcare help like Medicare and Medicaid, and other things that keep us healthy being cut by the federal government. They proposed this big, beautiful, big bill, but in that bill, it cuts a lot of prevention, a lot of help that helps the most vulnerable population. I do have a wonderful team, but when I started, like I've said in my previous question of the month, it wasn't like that. I allowed myself to be told I was fine, which led me to when I came back from Iraq, knowing that I wasn't fine, which led me down to a path of depression, anxiety, PTSD, which led to other things and eventually to the journey of being positive. But thanks to that, I also learned to advocate for myself. And when the first medication, Atripla, did not work for me, the nurse practitioner who was taking care of my nurse practitioner while she was away kept saying, you need to take this medication. It's only the side effects. They'll go away, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I'm not taking that medication. I gotta work, I gotta drive, I gotta go to school. And unless you're gonna take my exams, unless you're gonna pay my bills, I'm not doing it. She wasn't very happy with me, but I had to stand up for me because I learned that advocating for myself is the most important thing I could do for me and my health care. If I had advocated for myself years ago, maybe I would not have been down this road. Yes, doctors are great. Yes, doctors will help you, but you know your own body. You know your own limits. So don't let people tell you that they are right and you're wrong. At the same time, you have to have a good relationship with your healthcare providers, whatever they are. And so, in order to do that, you need to have the ability to advocate for yourself. Nobody's going to be a better advocate than yourself. Without that relationship, without that trust for your providers, you're not going to be able to get the help or be where you should be. Whether it's for this or for your behavioral health or for any other kind of illness. I also believe part of the reason why I am such an advocate for myself and such open to my healthcare providers is because of my mom. My mom had bipolar, major depression, anxiety, and was diagnosed during her last years of her life as mild schizophrenic. And I saw my mom not tell her therapist and her psychiatrist everything that she needed to tell them. And part of it was because if they knew that she was drinking, she would not have gotten her medication, which her medication kept her in a good way. She also did not follow the instructions, as always, because unfortunately, sometimes you have to make the decision of whether I'm going to pay for my medication, whether I'm going to pay this bill, whether I'm going to pay this, or I don't have enough money. And there were times in my life where I saw my mom be the most beautiful person there was. And when she would not follow for her medication accordingly, she would be totally somebody else. I remember also going to the hospital, to the behavioral unit, and seeing her there. And when we lost my brother, it got really bad. That helped me make sure I wanted to get the best care and not to be like that. That's why I'm very proactive about my medication, whether it's for my major depression, anxiety, and PTSD, or whether it's for my HIV. I try to make sure that I take it accordingly. I have good communication with my healthcare teams. When the epidemic happened, I was one of the persons asking for this, asking for that, asking questions. When this new administration came and the measles outbreak that started, I sent a question to my doctor asking if I needed a booster to make sure I would do what I needed to do to be fine. So, in a way, they have been great because they know I will be open about my stuff. And if they want to judge me, that's fine. I don't care. They don't pay my bills. But in order for me to be successful, I need them to know what's going on, and I need to advocate for myself. And I will say that when you find that team, you don't want to lose it. People will move on. I've had 1, 2, 3, I think I'm on my 4th or 5th health provider for the HIV. I'm on my 2nd primary care, and then this is my 2nd psychiatrist. But I made sure that it was somebody that I could continue my care with, that I could trust. And they all keep asking me, how's everything? When was the last time you seen your this? Or when was this? When was that? And I'm honest with them. And in order to be in a good place, you need to be honest. We all make mistakes. We all have our downfalls sometimes. And it's okay. That's what healthcare is about. Healing our bodies, healing our minds, healing our soul. So don't be afraid of that. Be very open about it. And if they are not asking it, you ask them the questions that need to be asked. You need to advocate for yourself. I will advocate in other ways for other people, but people won't know what's going on unless you tell them, and people won't know how you feel unless you're honest with them. Before I go, I want to say 2 quotes that I found for this. One is, I raised up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. And it's true, that's what I do. Whether I'm at my doctor's, or whether I'm in Albany, or whether I'm talking to a group. I do it so people that can't have a voice can be heard. But also know that without advocacy, vulnerable people cannot be heard or given credit. They cannot be supported, protected, or defended, and their rights will be lost. Without advocacy, vulnerable people have no power and will be invincible. Now more than ever, we need to be heard by our doctors, by our healthcare providers, by our peers, by our case managers, but also our politicians, the people who make those rules, who make those budgets that get cut, because if we don't hear and we don't advocate for ourselves, and our healthcare providers can say, I got this, I got that, I got here, but they can only do so much. We need a whole group of people, a community, because when that happens, things start to change. So this big, beautiful bill is gonna hurt a lot of people. And I'm not here to talk about the good or the bad of one party or another, because they both have their defaults. But I'm here to tell you, in order to get the health care, in order to be in good with your health, you need to advocate for yourself, and you need to be honest with your providers. I built that relationship, but it started with me, and it also started with them. Because as I opened up, they were able to ask me more questions. And that's the most important thing. Having that trust, having that comfort, and if you don't have it, then they're not the right people for you. And you can change providers. And that's what you should do. I hope you guys continue your journey, or if you're in any of the healthcare situation, and know that there's a group of people out there fighting for you. But we need your voice. We need your advocacy. Because I can only do so much. And with that, also know, you have to come first. Not everything. Because there are times I have to step back to make sure that my health care is still good. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful time for Pride. And I hope you have a wonderful time for summer. And let's make changes into our health system, into our country, that will benefit everyone, not just the very few. Until next time, I'll see you. And this is Yvonne. And remember, I'm here if you need me.